Guys, welcome to Cisco with Aman Soni, and in this video we are going to talk about the concept of per VLAN spanning tree. If you are following the previous lectures, we have covered a lot of spanning tree protocol, but what we have actually done was CSTP, classical spanning tree protocol, and the code is IEEE. The defined standard is 802.1d. If someone talk about like what is 802.1d, that is nothing but the official name of spanning tree protocol. But in spanning tree protocol, if you know the election very well, you know how it happens. The very first thing, the root bridge is going to be elected, then the root port and DP and blocking and all these things. So in this video, we'll do that, and then we'll talk about what is the disadvantage of having classical spanning tree and how can the disadvantage be taken care of by using a very wonderful flavor of spanning tree, which is per VLAN spanning tree. The major difference is the CSTP classical spanning tree runs for every VLAN. If we have 100 VLAN, if we have 100 VLAN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up till 100, then for all the 100 VLANs, the spanning tree election is going to be same. And according to the election, if this link is blocked, then this link is blocked for all the VLANs. Meaning what? The bad thing is, for example, we have some PCs. Let's say PC1 here and PC2 here, PC3 here as well, and PC4. Now look very carefully. Imagine this PC1 and PC2 are in VLAN 10 and 20, and same thing here, 10 and 20. I just write it for you. This guy is in VLAN 10, this guy is in VLAN 20, this guy is in VLAN 10, and the other guy is also in different VLAN 20. Much better now. VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 10 and 20 as well. Yes, we know that VLAN 10 to 20 communication will not happen because they are in the different VLAN. And we know that behind the scene, CSTP, classical spanning tree, will be running. We don't need these ports, so let's just remove them, make our topology little cleaner. Now, we know the classical spanning tree algorithm has already been run on this topology. Let's see what was the election. Very first thing, we'll get the CLI of all these devices by double clicking them on the switches, switch 1, switch 2 and switch 3, and I will write down their MAC address. Bridge ID means priority and MAC address, but priority, as I've told you, will be default for all of them, 32768 plus the VLAN ID, plus the VLAN ID. So let's do that. Show spanning tree. As you can see, it is 32769, 32768 plus the VLAN ID, and you can see that this is for VLAN 1, this is for VLAN 1. What if we have VLAN 10 and 20? Pretty easy. Then you will do 32768 plus 10, 32768 plus 20. But see, what the problem is, when the classical spanning tree will be running and our one link will be blocked, for example, this link will be blocked, and when this link is blocked, this link will be blocked for both VLAN 10 and 20. And that is a very bad thing. What is the bad thing? The link is wasted because no VLAN is using it. When the VLAN 10 traffic is going, it will go like this. VLAN 10 traffic, let's say it is the red traffic, it will go like this, blue one, it will go like this. The VLAN 20 traffic, it will also go like this, because this link is blocked by a spanning tree. Otherwise loop will happen. But the bad thing is that this link is blocked for both VLAN 10 and for VLAN 20 as well. That is the bad thing. What if it should be like something like this, that VLAN 10 data is going from some other link and VLAN 20 data should be going from some other link. That would be very wonderful. Something like this, like VLAN data going like this and VLAN 20 data going like this. This would be very better. Why? Because see, it will be more efficient. The efficiency of the data traffic passing will be increased if something like this will happen. Meaning what? We want to block the link, but the link will be blocked, should be blocked like this, that this link is blocked for VLAN 10 and this link is blocked for VLAN 20. If something like this happen, then you can get over the disadvantage of classical spanning tree. Oh, just wait a sec. Okay. What classical spanning tree will does, classic spanning tree don't care about you belong to what VLAN or what is the ID, nothing. The classical spanning tree will simply say this link is blocked, and if this link is blocked, it means this link is blocked for every VLAN. That is a very very bad thing. So that's why we instead what we are going to use, we are going to use per VLAN spanning tree. And in most of our switches, the per VLAN spanning tree is already running by default. So now let's see how it works. Meaning what, if you have VLAN 10 and 20, then one spanning tree will be running for VLAN 10 and another spanning tree will be running for VLAN 20, and their bridge ID also will be little bit different. Why? Because see, for VLAN 10 it will be something like this: 32768 plus 10, right? Because I told you in the priority the VLAN ID is added. So if you do that, your ID becomes what? 32778. This is for VLAN 10. So let's copy this thing and paste it here as well. This is for VLAN 10. And let's also see the MAC addresses of switch 2. Show spanning tree. The MAC address is this. Let's copy it. If you do the command show spanning tree, under that command, under the bridge ID, you will find your details. Under this section, you will find the details of the king, which is your root bridge. So it is very easy. This is the same topology we are doing since the beginning of spanning tree lectures, that this guy is our root bridge because he has the lowest MAC address. Now let's also go to switch 3. Show spanning tree. Copy the MAC address. Okay, be careful. This is not your MAC. This is your MAC. And you might disagree in this case. You might say that I am using 32778, but in here it is 32769 because it is for VLAN 1. Default priority is 32768 plus 1 become 32769. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go on every switch and I'm going to create VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. So let's see what happens then. Simply I'll do nothing. I'll not even touch spanning tree. I will create VLAN 10, VLAN 20 on all the 3 switches. Let's see how to do that. Pretty easy. VLAN 10. What is VLAN 10? VLANs are nothing but logical boundary. By default, if you click here on the port, all the ports are in VLAN 1. But now we want some more logical boundaries. We want to logically divide them into different broadcast domains. Okay, so VLAN 10 I have created, and I will also create VLAN 20. And if you look at the spanning tree, see what will happen. Okay, right now it is not showing, but okay, fear not. We'll just create. See, there are some tweaks to this per VLAN spanning tree, I'll tell you. So step 1, very simple. Create the VLANs, whatever VLANs you want. Okay, first do that, and later on we'll see why spanning tree is not running for VLAN 10 and 20. Config T, VLAN 10, exit out, VLAN 20, exit out, go to switch 3. VLAN 10, exit out, VLAN 20. VLAN 10 and 20 are everywhere now. But if you do show spanning tree, you will see spanning tree is running for VLAN 1. Why? Because it is quite simple. Show VLAN brief. There is nothing inside VLAN 10 and 20. If you put some interface there, then the spanning tree will run for them. And if you have some trunk interface, then the spanning tree will also run, because kind of trunk belongs to all the VLANs because they can forward the traffic of all the VLANs. And as of now, show interfaces trunk, there are no trunks. What is a trunk port or trunk link? A trunk link is a link between the switches which have the capability of carrying all the VLAN data. Right now what is happening shows a VLAN brief. You can see that my port E00 and E01, every port is in VLAN 1. If some data come from a piece, for example, this is also in VLAN 1. If VLAN 10 will send it data, meaning what, I will put this PC into VLAN 10, he will not communicate with this other PC in VLAN 10. Why? Because the link belongs to VLAN 1. That is why whenever you have switches, it is always recommended that all the links between these switches have to be a trunk link. It have to be a trunk because see, these links should not be in any particular VLAN so that they can carry all the VLAN data. Right now every port is in VLAN 1. We don't want that. We want to make these links trunk so that communication can happen and they can carry the different VLAN data. Let me show you the same thing in practical. I will do what? I will assign IP addresses 192.168.1.1 and I will keep this very simple 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. There is no rule that in different VLAN the network have to be different. You can make it different, but you can also keep it same. Even if it is same, different VLAN will not communicate. But what we want, our aim is that VLAN 10 should communicate with the VLAN 10 PC, right? So I'll go to each and every PC and I will assign the IP address. But for that, I need to turn them on first. Okay. So we'll continue with this. Okay. So next thing what we are going to do, we are going to assign IP addresses. Assign IPs to VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 PCs. After that, will they ping or not? That depends, that we will see. So let's go to PC1. I will open the CLI of all the PCs, PC3, PC4. Only IP address and subnet mask will be enough for now. PC1, PC2, 192.168.1.2, PC3, 1.3, PC4, but as of now everything is in VLAN 1. But I told you these two guys are in VLAN 10 and these PC2 and PC4 are in VLAN 20. For that you have to assign IPs to VLAN 10 and 20 PCs and put them into respective VLANs, and that obviously will happen on the switch. So let's go to the switch 2. And which port are these? Okay, now we need the ports. So I'll just put the arrow here. It is connected to E02. So I'll bring that back. This guy is connected to E03. This guy is connected to E02. So the last one is obviously going to be E03. You have to be very careful because if you make some mistake, the port will be in some other VLAN and the result will be very different of what you have thought. So VLAN E02 in VLAN 10. Interface E02, switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 10. That's how you put a port into a VLAN. Interface E03, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 30. Oh, sorry, 20. Done. So let's go to this switch 3. Port 02 in VLAN 10. Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. Interface E03, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Everything is right. And you can see as soon as you do that, the spanning tree is now running for VLAN 10 and for VLAN 20. And as I told you, for VLAN 10, look at the bridge ID. It is 32778. 32778. And for VLAN 20, it will be 32768 plus 20. So 32788. and obviously the MAC address is going to be same. So see, this is for VLAN 10 and this is for VLAN 20. Let's put these stuff right here.
Only 10 difference.
Yes, because see, the extended system ID is added so that the VLAN the variety of different VLANs should not be same with each other. So what is happening right now? Two spanning trees are running, one for VLAN 10 and one for VLAN 20. Because our switches right now are running per VLAN spanning tree. That's why this whole thing is happening. And now they are in the same network 1.1 and 1.3. Both are in VLAN 10. Let's try to ping them. Let's try to ping PC1 with PC3. Let's see what happens. Ping 192.168.1.3. You might say that everything is perfect, they are in the same VLAN, everything is good, but they are not pingable. They are not reaching with they're not reachable. Why they are not reachable? Because this switch will not even send the data out. Because this port is in VLAN 1. Data is coming from VLAN 10, this port is in VLAN 1, it cannot happen. That's why between the switches, if you want communication to happen between the VLAN, between VLAN 10 to 10 and 20 to 20 also, on different switches, the link always have to be a trunk. Because only trunk link has the power, the capability to carry different VLAN data. How to make a switch, make a link trunk? It's very easy. Go to both sides and give the command. Even if you give the command on one side, for example, if you say this port is a trunk, the other side will dynamically become trunk, but Cisco doesn't recommend that. Cisco says if you want trunk, you should give the command on both sides, but in lab, in real life, if you give on the one side, the other side will automatically become trunk. Okay, so step number 3 we have make trunk links between all these switches. So let's do that. So simply every link on the switch. Okay, be careful, don't make the port with the PCs trunk. They are not trunk, they are always access. Access ports are part of a specific VLAN. This port E02 is access, it is part of VLAN 10. E03 is also access, it is part of VLAN 20. But trunk links are actually kind of part of all the VLANs because they can forward all VLAN traffic. So config T E0 interface E00 switch port mode trunk. See, this is a layer 3 switch. Okay, it is a very important note right here. If you go on switch 2, or you might have seen your basic CCNA also, if you do this command always work. But on layer 2 switch, on layer 3 switch, this command will work, but before that you have to change the trunk encapsulation to .1q. Okay, there are two types of trunk encapsulation. One is, I'll just write it for you. One is 802.1q and one is inter-switch link, which is right now not used anymore. You might see ISL, but on very few switches. All the trunks will be having the default encapsulation of 802.1q, but by default the encapsulation is auto, as you can see. In plain English, this warning says that give the command to change the encapsulation, then I will make the link trunk. So how to do that? Switch port trunk encapsulation question mark, as you can see. .1q or ISL. Don't use ISL, it is not used anymore. You should use 802.1q. So let's give .1q. This is the command. And after giving this command, the switch port mode trunk command will work. So our E00 is trunk right now. If you're using layer 2 switch, only this command is enough. You might have seen in your CCNA basic lectures also. So let's do interface E0. The other one is E01. Okay, let's remove this notepad. You have to do this on E01 as well. E01 switch port mode trunk, same error will come because first you have to change the encapsulation, then you can give switch port mode trunk. And then to verify, do this command show interface trunk. You will see that both of your interfaces are trunk right now. And look here, look at this, the mode is on. On means manually you have done that, but if you go on the other side switch 2, you will see that the interface will be automatically be trunk. Why? Because we went on E00, made that guy trunk manually, and this E00 on the other side automatically become trunk. This is the behavior of how trunks actually work. Cisco recommend that you should give the command here also, but lab wise, practical wise, it doesn't make any sense. It will work the same. It's up to you. Okay, so let's go to switch 3 and the same thing. Show interface trunk. This guy E01 will be a trunk, but you can see that we also have to make this port also trunk. So let's give the command here as well. Let's give on E02. Switch trunk encapsulation.1q switch port mode trunk. Done. You will see the message immediately that guy will be trunk as well. So E01, E02 both are trunk as you can see. Let's go to switch 2. Previously only one guy was trunk, E00. Now E01 will also be trunk as you can see here. It might take some time. Okay, I know why it is happening. See, the thing is, spanning tree is right now in effect. Okay, so config t interface E01 switch port encapsulation switch port trunk encapsulation dot 1q and switch port mode trunk. Even now, if you do that, wait for a few seconds and you will see nothing is happening. Why? Because simple as that, I told you spanning tree will put that port into blocking. It might be happening like that. Show spanning tree. Okay, this port, these two are, this is root port, both are designated. So this port is blocking, I guess, E02. Okay, so it might be because of that thing only. So now you have trunk, and what is happening? Let's go to PC here, PC1. Previously it was not pinging with PC3, which was 1.3. It is in same VLAN. Let's try to ping again. Again it is, why it is not reachable? Let's go to switch 2. Show VLAN brief. This port E02 is in VLAN 10. And do we have a trunk here as well? Show interface trunk. Okay, now finally E00 and E01 both guy are trunk. Let's check the IPs on PC3 also. Okay, we might have made some mistake while giving the IP. Show IP 1.1, perfect. Go to PC2. Show IP 1.2, PC3 1.3, PC4 1.4. But why it is saying duplicate? I will check for duplicate. Everything seems fine. Let's go to PC2 and try to ping 192.168 1.4. They are pinging. So what is happening? This guy from VLAN 20 to VLAN 20 is pinging. They are pinging. Let's go to PC1. PC2 we ping 1.4, because see, we were sitting on 1.2 when we ping 1.4. Both are in VLAN 20. They are pinging. So let's go to PC1 now. Ping 192.168 1.3. Not reachable E02. Let's check the VLANs. Okay, something happened here before. Switch to show VLAN brief. E02 is in VLAN 10. E03 is in VLAN 20. Let's go to switch 3. Show VLAN brief. Okay, the thing what we might have missed, we haven't put E02 in VLAN 10. That's why it was not pinging. So let's put that guy. As you can see, it is empty right here. So config t interface E02 switch port mode access switch port VLAN switch port access VLAN 10. Show VLAN 3. That's why this command is so important. E02 is in VLAN 10, other guy is in VLAN 30. So now finally what is happening, PC1 should be able to ping to the other PC 1.3. Again, let it give us some time, because see, the ARP might take some time for to ping. So let's go to switch 3. E02 is in VLAN 10. Let's confirm whether it is E02 or not. E02 to PC3, yeah, it is E02. Show interface trunk. E00, E01, both are trunk. Why PC1 is doing to us? Okay, it is pinging. Because see, VPC, after changing the VLAN, VPC might take some time. So PC1 pinging to 1.1 is pinging to 1.3. It cannot ping to any other PC. Why? Because they are in different VLAN. And the communication of same VLAN is happening only because you have a trunk in between. If you don't give the trunk, the communication will not happen. Now let's come back to our per VLAN spanning tree. According to spanning tree, what will happen? Let's do the election first for VLAN 10 and then we will do it for VLAN 20. For that we need to copy the whole topology into the paint. Okay, so first let's take the red one and we'll do for VLAN 10. This is for VLAN 10. This is for VLAN 10. And this is for VLAN 10. And clearly we know that this guy is going to be the king. So for VLAN 10, this is going to be the DP. This is going to be the DP. Cost from here is 19. Cost from here is 19 plus 19. So simply this port will become RP. And the red color represents VLAN 10. Same this side, this port will become RP. Now we have to decide which one is block. So the one having the lowest bridge ID in VLAN 10. So 200 and 300. So this guy wins, he becomes DP and this guy becomes block. And if you gave some thought to it, if you look carefully, the same election will happen for VLAN 20. Look, for VLAN 20 we will compare this one, this blue one and this blue one. Just don't look at the red one, okay? Just forget that the red one is still here. Forget the red one. So this guy is the root bridge for VLAN 20. This guy is DP, this guy is DP also for VLAN 20. Cost wise 19 from here, more than 19, so this guy becomes RP also for VLAN 20. Same thing, this port becomes RP. And if you compare the bridge ID, this one and this one, you know this is better. So this link becomes DP and this link becomes block for VLAN 20. In short, the election happened two times. One time for VLAN 10 and one time for VLAN 20. But the thing is, the link which is blocking, that link is blocked for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 for both. Best way to see, go to switch 3 and do the command show spanning tree. You can confirm that thing. Show spanning tree. We don't want to see for VLAN 1, we want to see for VLAN 10. As you can clearly see that my port number 00 is block. Port number 00 is block for VLAN 10. Scroll it down. For VLAN 20, my port E00 is also block. Who is the root port? E01. E01 is the root port for VLAN 20 as well and for VLAN 10 as well. So the problem is, yes, we are running spanning tree two times, but the same result is happening that was happening before in classical spanning tree. So now what is our aim? We want different ports to be blocked for VLAN 10 and for VLAN 20 so that the link can be utilized. So that one port, one whole link will be blocked for VLAN 10 and one whole link will be blocked for VLAN 20. Right now what is happening? This link is blocked for VLAN 10 and the same link is blocked for VLAN 20. In short, from this link, no traffic will go. So one way to achieve, see, what is the core of the problem? The core of the problem is for spanning tree instance 1 for VLAN 10 and for VLAN 20, for both of them, who is the king? For both of them, this guy is the root bridge.
Root bridge.
That is why the whole election is happening like that. So what we can do, we can manipulate it in number of ways. What will say that this switch, I just write it here, he is going to be the root bridge for VLAN 10, and this switch is going to be the root bridge for VLAN 20, and this switch is not going to be root bridge anymore. So if different root bridge will be there for VLAN and 20, different STP election will happen for both VLAN. But the thing is, how can you do that? We know how root bridge is elected on the basis of bridge ID. So very simple. For VLAN 10, we will change the bridge ID. What I will do for VLAN 10, I will make it 4096. So this, when election will happen, look for VLAN 10, we'll compare this thing, this value and this value, and the switch 2 will win when the election will happen for VLAN 10, and for VLAN 20 I will make the priority 4096 here. So this guy will become the root bridge for VLAN 30. Now the question is, why only 4096? Yes, you can decrease it, but you cannot choose any random value. Let me show you with the help of command. Let's go to switch 2. So spanning previously, spanning tree VLAN 10 priority. This is the command to change the priority, and if you do question mark, it is saying that bridge priority have to be the increment of 4096. You can see just the multiple of 4096, meaning what? You can make it 0, you can make it 4096, you can make it 80. Let's do the math. 96 plus 6 is 12, 9 and 18. 8012, something like this. Okay, I think you have to just double this value.
8192.
Okay, 8192 it will become. Okay, and again add 4096 and so on. And you never have to learn that. Why? Because see, there's a short trick to that. Just put any value and do question mark. Just put any value, like for example put 9, and it will show you all the values. The priority have to be something like this. You can choose 0, you can choose 4096, 8192, this, and by default we have 32768. So what we'll do for on this switch, we want to make him the king for VLAN 10. So for VLAN 10 we will decrease the priority to 4096. Just think it like this. Okay, so the command is this: I want to change the spanning tree priority for VLAN 10. See, if I do this for VLAN 10 and 20 both on this switch, you know what will happen? This switch will become king for both VLANs, and again same thing will happen. So different kings, different election, and different block port. Okay, so spanning tree VLAN 10 priority 4096. That's it. And we'll go to switch 3 and we'll do the same thing for VLAN 20 here. So let's go here, config T, spanning tree VLAN 20 priority 4096. That's it. And now what will happen? The same port will not be blocked. First we'll do our hypothesis in the paint that how it should happen. Okay, so I want to make it little neat. I don't want the ports right now, and let's make it a little broader. Okay, we know that every link is a trunk, no need to write that. Copy, So let's first do that for VLAN 10. So VLAN 10, the same thing is going to happen again, but this time this guy is not the king, this guy is the king for VLAN 10. So he is the root bridge. So if he is the root bridge, then this port is DP, this is also DP, forwarding. Okay. What is the cost from here? 19. Cost from here 19. Cost from here 19, more than 19, 19 plus 19. So this port will become RP for VLAN 10. Same way for this switch will do. The cost from here is, if you are facing any difficulties in election, go back and watch all the videos because it is a continuous series. You cannot jump on PVST and you should supposed to like understand everything. You won't unless you know all the previous lectures. So on this switch, cost is 19 from here, and in here more than 19 because it will go like this. So simple, this guy becomes not this guy becomes root port. Okay, this is RP here, this is RP here. Now for the blocking election, we will look at the priority and the bridge ID for VLAN 10 and VLAN 10. So this guy will win. So this guy will become DP and this guy will become block for VLAN 10. And now we will do for VLAN 20. This is the root bridge for VLAN 20. So this port will be DP and this port will be DP for VLAN 20. This port will become root port for VLAN 20. This port will become root port for VLAN 20. And on this you can see the election will happen 100 and 200. This is DP and this port is block. So now very amazing thing is happening right here. See, this is the logical diagram. I'll do one thing. I'll copy it again and I'll show you the packet flow. I'll copy this thing. Oh, I should have pasted that only. This is your election and how the data will go. See, I'll just put the outcome of that whole spanning tree result. This is block for VLAN 10 and this guy is block. Oh, my bad. This guy is block for actually VLAN 20 and this guy is block for VLAN 10. So when VLAN 10 data will go, the VLAN 10 data will go like this. Because this guy is not blocked for VLAN 10. As you can see, root port and DP. This link is open for VLAN 10 and the VLAN 20 data will now go like this. So two different VLAN, two different path. This way you can overcome the disadvantage of classical spanning tree. And wait. Okay guys, so we tried this, but one problem is here. Let me undo this thing. So what is happening? This port is blocked for VLAN 10, VLAN 20. I'll just write it here. This is for VLAN 20 and this is for VLAN 10. But the problem is the data will go like this. If you send data, it will go for VLAN 10. This is blocked, so it will go like this only. But if you ping from VLAN 20, the data cannot go from here because it is blocked. Right, for VLAN 20 it will pass from here, but it will not pass this. So what will happen? Still it is going like this. So we tried changing the king, see, but in order to change the king, you have to be very specific. You have to try to do this in the lab and see how it is working. So now what we might do, we will not make him the root bridge for VLAN 20. We will just let him be the normal guy and we will make this guy the root bridge for VLAN 20. So let's see what happens when we do that. That's why you have to try every permutation and combination so that you can get your desired result. Okay, so let's do this in take 2. We have tried this thing and it failed. We don't want to make it a root bridge for VLAN 20, so we will make it the priority 32768 only. Actually, yeah, 32768 and it will automatically become 88 after adding the VLAN ID. So let's go to switch 3. Spanning tree for VLAN 20. priority I can do a no, because this thing will do the same result. Show spanning tree for VLAN 20, you can see my priority is back to 327688. So now if this guy is the king for VLAN, for root bridge for VLAN 20, let's see how things come into the picture. Let's copy this thing, go to paint. So let's begin with the take two. First for VLAN 10, VLAN 10 we already know what will happen. This guy is going to be the root bridge. This port is DP, this port is DP, this is RP, this is RP, and we know when the communication, the steps will happen for this. This guy is going to win because he has the good bridge ID. He's going to be DP, this guy is going to be block. Okay, so for the VLAN 20, this guy is the root bridge because he has the default bridge ID. Okay, 3 2, we'll compare this thing for VLAN 20. Clearly this guy will win because priority is same, MAC address is lowest. So DP here, DP here. This guy will choose RP because it is closest to him. He will become RP, and according to these two, this guy will win and this port will be blocked. Okay, so this is our election. Let's see how the packet flow will look like. For VLAN 10, for the red VLAN, this link is blocked. This one is blocked for VLAN 10, and for VLAN 20, this is blocked. So how it is happening? When data will go from VLAN 10, for VLAN 10 the data will go, the red VLAN data will go like this, because this port is not blocked for VLAN 10. And for VLAN 20, what will happen, the data, it cannot go here because it is blocked. So for VLAN, it will start from here. For VLAN 20, the data will go like this. So this is what your desired outcome should be, like this. In order to achieve this, you have to manipulate that what will happen if these two become king for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, and accordingly one by one you have to change the root bridges to see which outcome is giving you the desired result. And I can summarize this thing like this also to make it more clear. In your head, think of it like this. This is for VLAN 10. And this is for VLAN 20. So whichever port is blocked, I will remove that. For VLAN 10, this one is not there. In your head, it should be like this. This is the topology for VLAN 10. And for VLAN 20, this port is blocked. So the topology is like this. So physically, the topology is the same. And after running the per VLAN spanning tree, after doing the desired operation, what desired operation? Then making this guy root bridge for VLAN 20 and making this guy root bridge for VLAN 10. By changing their root bridge in a specific manner, your result is like this. All the VLAN 10 data will go like this now. All the VLAN 20 data will go like this. So in short, this link is dedicated for VLAN 10 traffic only, and this link, these two are dedicated for VLAN 20 data only. So bigger the topology, bigger the math you have to do. Okay, so this is per VLAN spanning tree. You can see it is much more complex than spanning tree. There is no difference in the election of spanning tree and per VLAN spanning tree. The only thing is, in per VLAN spanning tree, the election happens for multiple instances. Same thing happen for different VLANs, and you have the power to manipulate the parameters. After manipulating, what will happen? Physically, your topology will look same. but for different VLANs it will look like this. Now if you want, in future you can also add some other VLANs, and you can see if you can also make this guy the root bridge for VLAN 30. Let's say you can say this guy is root bridge for VLAN 30 as well, and this guy is also the root bridge for VLAN 40. So now what will happen, the VLAN 30 data will also go from this side only. The VLAN 30 data and VLAN 10 and 30 data will go from this link, and VLAN 40 data and VLAN 20 data will go from these shown links also. So in this way, even if you have multiple VLANs, you can divide your VLANs. That I want to make this root bridge specific for VLAN 10 and 30, and this different root bridge for VLAN 20 and 40. So these were the concept of per VLAN spanning tree. And one more thing, after doing all this analysis, you can verify this thing using the show spanning tree command. So let me just show you for VLAN 10. Let's go on switch 3. This port should be block for VLAN, red VLAN 10. But for VLAN 20, this port should be root port. So this what is this particular port? Let me show you here in the topology. It is E01. So this E01 should be block for VLAN 10. So let's see that. Let's go to switch 3. Show spanning tree again. VLAN 10. So for VLAN 10, E01 is block. This port will block any traffic for VLAN 10, but if you scroll down, you can see that for E01, for VLAN 20, the same E01 is a root port. That is the power of having per VLAN spanning tree. Different VLANs, different spanning tree will be running. And later on you don't need to do it again and again. Simply you can see, now you have this map with you. All you need is this map, and in the future you can say this is for VLAN 10, 30 and maybe 50 also, and you can say this is for VLAN 20, VLAN 40 and VLAN 60 for in the future, and you are efficiently managing your links. Your one link is blocked for some VLANs, but for other VLANs that link is into forwarding. So your traffic efficiency will increase 10 times even in this thing. And the bigger the topology you have, the more complex the permutation and combination will become. You have to do a lot of things. That's why you should be very good in classical spanning tree, otherwise you will never understand the per VLAN spanning tree, because in this we are not doing anything special. We are doing spanning tree but again and again and again for different VLANs. Okay, so like the video and I appreciate your feedback. Watch the video again and again, because PVR easy thing like your classical spanning tree. And if you haven't subscribed, click on that subscribe icon, and I will post more videos on spanning tree and other Cisco switching things. Okay, so this is all for the video.